All right, guys, here we are, 2 Down, 1 Over podcast. I'm Josh Mason. This is Matt Flanagan. We're in the building, ready to rock the mics. You know, today's going to be a good day, Matt, right? We got a special guest on the line. My man's name is Mike Dixon. He is a program director down at Black Knights Club lacrosse team. They're out of Maryland, but he's coming to PA. He's bringing the whole lacrosse flow here. And I love that because we didn't grow up with lacrosse around here.
I know.
So it's something that is bubbling, and I love the energy behind it. So welcome to the show, Mike. How we doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, fellas, guys. Thank you so much for having me, man. It means a lot. You know, absolutely love what Fame Strength stands for. And, you know, I'm really eager to get to it with you guys today, man. Very excited to be here.
Nice. You know, we're glad we have you on and can shed some light on the lacrosse world and what you got behind it. And obviously, you know, to see if your mind's right. You know, our motto, get your mind right, baby, right?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, man. So,
go ahead. Well, Mike, why don't you start? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, man. Absolutely, man. So, you know, lacrosse, you know, down here in Maryland, it's really it's getting big, man. You know, they got the PLL open now. They got Major League Lacrosse. Olympics has always been a big thing, but now high school ball is definitely, you know, getting to that area where their game is constantly trying to grow. Now, you know, the biggest deficit that I've seen over the past 8 years of coaching is basically just, you know, guys from our generation, we didn't really have lacrosse that much, you know, back in the 90s, early 2000s, lacrosse wasn't that big. So the hardest part is finding the right coaching, you know. So every program, if you want to make a good lacrosse program, you got to have a coach that kind of knows the game a little bit, you know. So if you just have a regular like dad who doesn't really know and he's just trying to fill in, then there's no much room for growth, you know. So I'm really here just to try to bring, like, you know, not just the X's and O's, but just the mindset, the mentality, you know, that championship Kobe mentality type of thing, you know. So that's kind of pretty much what I try to do is I try to coach a mindset. Now, you know, personally, I was always more of a football guy, to be honest with you. I played running back, DE, and all that stuff. So, you know, so
you're speaking Josh's language over here. You know?
Mike, I like it.
I know, right? Yeah, absolutely, man. So, you know, just being, and that's kind of where I'm pretty well at, you know, using the same similar analogies to lacrosse because, you know, lacrosse playing defense for one, it's the same exact thing as like, you know, a cover 2 corner or, you know, run blocking and pass blocking whenever they're within the crease or the hub, you know. So there's a time to drive. There's also a time to, like, you know, punch and steer. So, you know, I try to use a lot of those analogies to get through mainly to the football guys, man. But yeah, it's going great, man. Absolutely.
I like that. So Mike, so you played lacrosse, right?
Yeah.
Now you are from Maryland.
Right.
And how did you get into lacrosse? Like because it was such like a new sport and it wasn't really around, like what made you jump out it? How did you do? And what are your thoughts behind it?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And that's a great question, man. So, you know, I was fortunate enough to play for one of the best lacrosse coaches in Maryland. His name was Curtis Belcher. Now he was also my head football coach as well. So me personally, I was more of a baseball guy. You know, I had a rocket, bro. I played center field. I either hit a home run or I struck out, you know, so I was always
home run or bust.
Yeah, exactly, man. So I was all about baseball through and through. And then my freshman year, my football coach, man, I had so much love and admiration for that man, just everything he did, his mindset, his energy, everything he did, man. He was like the father figure that, like, you know, a lot of us kind of needed. You know, we got our dads, we got relationships with our dads, but every now and then you need somebody like that fire under your butt, you know, to get you going and get you to hit those levels so you don't plateau mentally, you know. And dude, just the love I had for him, he came up to me one day and was like, yo, Mike, I'll tell you what, buddy, like, you come and play lacrosse for me these next 4 years, and I promise you will go play college lacrosse. Like, because he just saw the athleticism. He saw the speed. I played running back. He saw the toughness. He was like, if you can learn how to just play this sport, like, you can just go and you could do lacrosse or football. So he just gave me that avenue. And I was like, man, so I went with it. I never played baseball again, man. And then, you know, 4 years later, I ended up going to a smaller school. So I went to this D3 school called Bethany, played football and lacrosse there, man. So it was good though, man. You know, they gave me a great merit, you know, a merit scholarship for academics. They gave me, you know, they helped me out with my books and my room and boarding and all that, which led to a transfer West Virginia University, where I got my bachelor's in criminology and forensic science investigations and all that stuff, man. So just, just those avenues itself, like whether it's D1 or D3, it's not necessarily about you going and playing major ball. It's about you having that avenue to get a bachelor's degree or have something that will pay for partial books, so that's kind of what I try to do. And if lacrosse is an avenue to college, like, oh, absolutely, man, more the merrier, man.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah. So let me ask you this, because my understanding with lacrosse, or I'm still like newer to the game. I didn't have it. I watched the game. It looks amazing. I wish I had the opportunity to play it in high school, but I didn't, and that's okay. I'm understanding that Maryland is like, that's the place for lacrosse. Is that right? Kind of Maryland is like,
absolutely, Matt. So like, if you look at the top, national teams, and if you look at the NCAA championship divisions, you'll constantly see Maryland teams up there, whether they're in the top 8 or the top 4 or the national champion themselves, So you got great programs like Maryland University down in College Park. They're the top dogs like every single season, right? Then you got Towson University, which is amazing.
Right.
Not to mention Loyola right down there, Johns Hopkins, normally they're pretty up there, but so I mean, all of those are within an hour radius of each other for real. And then not to mention, you go up to Cumberland, Maryland, you got some of the best Division II programs up there, such as Frostburg University, where they're ranked and getting ready to compete for a conference championship. So they got a lot of bump out here, that's for sure. But I mean, dude, don't fake though, because Pennsylvania's got ballers too, man. Like, you look at all those schools up there, even some of the smaller schools like Lebanon Valley and Wilkes University and Misericordia and all those guys, like, they're building programs and they're finding the right athletes. And Penn State's always a top dog too, man. So, they're always right there, right behind Maryland. So I love to see the game growing. More lately, you see other programs popping up, like Utah's really, really nice. Tampa University, Jacksonville, so I love to see the game grow. I'm really just, my biggest goal is to just, get as many kids the recognition and the recruiting that they deserve. And just give them the opportunity that, we never had playing lacrosse growing up, so just like club ball and all these different teams you could play for, man, it's getting to be exciting, man. It really is.
Yeah, that's good. Now talk about, so you came over, you were seminary's coach, right?
Yes, sir. So I was the defensive coordinator under my best friend, Jordy Montesano, who helped out there and, man, who really helped build the culture. And he brought a lot of great coaching to the area as well. And I'm just so thankful for that bridge that he brought for me to come down there to help out, because, if it wasn't for him and bringing me on his staff, I would have never had these connections that I have up there in NEPA today. And, I'm just really grateful for that, man. And, Wyoming Seminary, man, they're top dogs right now, man. They got some ballers on their team, man. Just a couple of shout outs, like Jack Herron getting ready to be player of the year again. Matty Shorts, freaking baller. Never had the luxury to coach him, but did some clinics with him over the winter when he was in 8th grade. And I knew that kid was going to be monstrous, right? And then, even their upperclassmen who are getting ready to pass the torch, like Grant Pryor and, Quinn Kelly and all those ballers, So like, hey, Grant, I even got my Tiffin hat on there.
Yes, let's go. Grant. Shout out Grant. Let's go.
My buddy Grant. Yeah, man, he sent me that in the mail. So shout out him and Ray Pryor for always just showing much love and believing in the vision, So it's exciting stuff, man. And, not only just the Sem boys, but just the other kids in that area who are really helping grow the game, like Josh Wisniewski down in Holy Redeemer, and Jake Olson down in Lake Lehman, and Gavin Parashak, and, Landon Shuckers and all those guys, So we got all of them is like what the heart of Black Knights is, man. So it's just their mentality, the relentlessness, like, as me and Coach Jay used to always say, the head, heart, and hustle about everything, man. So I'm just like, that's the one thing that, like, I just don't want players to forget and just have that mindset, man. So, I'm just excited to, bring that to NEPA and continue to bring that Maryland lacrosse mentality up there, man, because, it's just exciting, man. It really is.
And I like that you talked about that core group. A lot of those kids we train at FAM, so we're familiar with a lot of them. Straight dogs, right? Dogs. We understand it. So
absolutely,
tell me about, like, you coming over to SEM. That was like your first time in this area, right? In Northeast, like PA.
Yeah.
So now coming over here, obviously lacrosse isn't a big deal or a big sport over here. When you see it from your perspective, coming from a state where it's huge, where do you see it going, and what do we need to improve on? And I know you touched on it earlier about the coaches and the knowledge that's here to develop these kids. And I'm starting to see it bubble. Like even my daughter, she had Little Sticks. It was a lacrosse program just on Fridays. They're starting it, and I see the numbers are growing. But what else needs to happen for it to really start to bubble out?
Right. So, I mean, the thing that's really starting to really capture at least the kids' attention, right? So, the parents, they love it. They don't really know much about it, but they love to see the competitive drive. They love to see people whacking each other with sticks and, taking each other's pads and stuff like that. And just, that football / hockey fight, they love that, which is great. And now we got legends like Paul Rabel and Mikey Sowers and all the legends up top who are just kind of paving the way for the younger generation. With the PLL, they're trying to make it exciting. They got all the new gear. They got awesome, just the best gear that you could possibly have, the best chrome helmets, all that, just making it look, trying to
drip, man. It's the drip for the culture, right?
Exactly, man. So, just building that culture and just making it as positively contagious as possible. Lacrosse is it's not necessarily the preppy boy, gotta be in a frat to play sport no more. It's not like that no more. It's not like the Ivy League sport. It is now people are starting to weary away from football. At least in Maryland, I see a lot of people are wearing away because concussions are no joke, man. And not to mention, you see people with these injuries to knees and stuff like that. Like me, I love football. I played on gravel.
Same.
So it was nothing to me. But now a lot more parents are more cautious about the concussion protocol. And in lacrosse, it's cool because you can be physical and all that, but you can't do helmet to helmet stuff. And so they're starting to weary more towards that. But the main part where I see it growing a lot is with the PLL kind of being the new professional league that kids look up to. They got the 2-point line now. They got different kinds of leagues where they do 1-on-1s and 5-on-5s and stuff like that. So that's super exciting just to see how many different varieties they do, especially with the skills challenges and stuff like that. But honestly, to get it at that lower level, it goes back to just having coaches who are not necessarily just filling in, but they're passionate about it. They're passionate about building the culture and just not only coaching the X's and O's, but being a life coach like you guys and coaching the mindset and teaching kids this is not easy. This takes practice outside of practice. You got to practice before practice, that kind of mentality. And just more support, more involvement from the parents and families. You go to a lacrosse game sometimes, if it's a regular team, there'll be 20 people in the stands, but that's only because people don't really know about it. So if you go to a game like Wyoming Salmon, they're playing Crestwood, there's about 1,000 people in those stands. It depends on what program and what kind of game it is, but the only way to get those programs to get up to that 500, level is just to find the coaching, man. So, my biggest goal here is to help grow the game in the NEPA area. I truly believe that I can do my part by helping coach the coaches, if that makes sense. And then just show them drills, run them clinics. I've done that with a lot of coaches already in the area, and we got some great guys on staff coming up too, man. Not to mention all the boys that are seniors getting ready to go are all helping out volunteer too. So we got a lot of ballers who can put on their pads and volunteer as well. So that's just super exciting, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like there's obviously a difference between Maryland and NEPA right now. And I know you're helping build up NEPA, and I think that's awesome. And I want to touch on a conversation you and I had yesterday, which I loved. You're coaching a high school team now. Right.
Oh yeah.
So, I know you had a tough loss the other night as rivals, and, I don't want to bring that up. I know. Yeah. Brutal. But, it spurred this conversation between us where you have to develop a culture within a team. And, you were, from what I recall, you had some seniors that you had to sit, and they had a losing mentality. And he said, that's not going to cut it for me. So you had to go, all right, we need to build this culture up. And so I'm going to go to some of the younger guys. Touch on that a little bit for us.
Absolutely, Matt. And that's, You know, I'm still sore about it, man. My soul is still like it's over,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I'm thinking, it's all good, brother. No, I love it though, man. And you know, and it's like, and that is literally the reason why I do this. So I when I moved back to Maryland, you know, I was getting married and all that stuff, so I couldn't take on a full team right then and there. But I did volunteer at my old high school that I graduated from, right? And when I went to school there, we were ballers. Like football, we opened up in 2006, brand new high school. By 2007, we went undefeated. 2008, we went undefeated again. Like we lost in the state semis, we lost in the regional championship, but we had that mentality like we were going to go undefeated every single year, right?
Right.
Lacrosse, same story. We win 2 games my first year, and then we go 8-8, then we go 8-8, then we finally go like 13-3, you know. And then my young bulls, after I graduated, the class below me went and finished what we started and got a regional championship, right? Fast forward 10 years, right? So now I'm back, and you know, we had some great players. So I coached a couple of the kids who played for another club team in Maryland who graduated this past year. So we only have 4 seniors, only 2 of them ever played before, right? Now, unfortunately, at this school, their football team also didn't win a game this year either. So like they not winning 1 game this whole year. So that's kind of like where the school has gone since it's opened up in 2006. Now, that's not a knock on anybody or anything like that, but you know how that does to the mental, you know, like that's, it's like, oh, well, we lost again. Like, all right, well, whatever. Like, you know, so my main thing is like, it's not cool to lose, you know, like no matter what you're doing, like, you know, and you can tell sometimes within the players, like you can see the drive just diminish, like, you know, 3 goals go up real quick and then they're like, oh, here we go again, you know. And my biggest thing is just building that mindset by like training hard in practice so you're ready for these moments, like being mentally tough, like constantly holding yourself and your teammates accountable, and having yourself goal oriented, right? So our biggest goal this year was to compete for a regional championship, which was very doable. Like we have the athletes, we have the stick skills per se, everybody can catch and throw, but it just comes down to like, once you hit the field, once the big game's on the line, that mental like weakness will start to show. And so, yeah, man, not last night, but the night before was brutal for us. So we played our rival team. Now they are a senior heavy team. Now I'm starting 3 true freshmen on varsity. My Fogo guys are starting freshmen. My starting LSM is a true freshman. Both of those guys, they're monstrous though. Like just wait till you see them in Black Knights this summer. They're going to be top dogs when the time comes. And you know, and then the rest of my team is all sophomores and sprinkle in a couple of juniors, right? So that's our squad. And every game we like, you know, we'll go on great runs, but we tend to lack like the mental toughness and just the physicality of the game. Like, you know, so in lacrosse, whenever somebody's approaching you and they're trying to put one in the back of the net, if you slide and you just try to smack their stick, like that is not cutting it. Like you need to get down, butt down, chest up, play the hip, like, you know, drive. And that's where that run blocking on offense comes in. You know, you drive them out of there, you know? So, and that's just the kind of like mental thing that we're lacking right now. But I'll tell you what, though, man, we got a big one tonight. Now, you know, I'm not expecting a big old Cinderella story here, but if my boys can bring the energy and play with some grit and just go 1,000 miles per hour and make mistakes 1,000 miles per hour, that's all that I ever ask of my boys, you know? So that's like, you know, because I understand it. This is my first year here as the head coach of this program. Definitely takes time to grow and to build the culture that you want. And eventually you just got to weed a couple people out. And then, I mean, it's going great though. Like the kids, they seem to be responding well. Like, you know, the next day we had a great film session and they seem eager and motivated to get after it. And nobody likes looking silly on film, man. I'll tell you that. So I know they're probably going to dig in their bag a little bit today. That's what I'm hoping for, man. So we'll see though. But yeah, it's just trusting the process and being coachable and like, you know, just being able to sprint in between the whistles, you know, like lacrosse is a fast-paced game. Like, you know, it's all about transitioning and pushing numbers and getting that head start. And that's just kind of game IQ. We're just not there yet, you know, but I'm expecting next year to be great. And I'm expecting Black Knights to have a heck of a summer season this year. We got, we got ranked 89th in the country our first fall game out of so the top 250 teams are ranked in the country, and we got 89th our first fall season. So very excited about that. I'm not sure what we're currently ranked right now because we haven't done anything over the winter or anything, but man, that's what it was in the fall. And I'm just eager to try to break that top 50 this summer, man. So at least one of those teams, whether it's NEPA or Maryland or our top 22 national team, we'll see how it goes, man. So we'll see.
I like it.
Absolutely.
So the moral of that, like what I'm hearing is culture, right? So we're big on it, and we have it here, championship culture. We preach it to our staff, to our members, clients, athletes. So talk about that. What are some important components that are necessary to build a championship culture?
Got to be vocal. That's like the first thing about it, so like, for example, my biggest pet peeve is like when I ask, I find myself to be very approachable. like, I know I might be a little hostile at times in between the whistles and then drills and stuff, trying to be I try to motivate, but I'm also respectful and I don't belittle any of my players. I talk down to them as a group if I see that they are letting the group down because they're letting people have contagious, characteristic traits like hanging their heads or throwing their palms up or smacking their stick on the ground when they throw it back.
That body language,
not sprinting to the sideline when we're trying to sub, and now because you didn't sprint, now they're on a fast break goal and our goalie's taking a shot 8 yards in front of his face, where if you would have sprinted, we could have subbed, we could have stopped that, so but the biggest thing that I'm learning about building the culture as well is the coach can't be the only one saying these things. Like you need to have leaders. The assistant coaches need to sit there and represent. The captains need to sit there and represent. And the moment you let things slide, then it just becomes like a slippery slope. And then that's when boys just like, and that's when that loser mentality just takes over. And it's that self-doubt, it's that fear, it's that, oh, here we go, I don't care. Like, so my thing that I always tell my boys is like, I'm not going to change. Like, I am not going to change. Like, I'm passionate about what I do. I don't care if you throw the ball 10 times away. Like, I'm always looking for the next play. I'm constantly telling you what you could do better. Like, stop like not running to the passing lane, or you like stop your feet while you're moving. And that's why like he was able to knock it down. If you keep running those 2 steps, you make that pass, and I correct everything like that. So every time they make a fundamental error, I can't help it. Like I have to correct it, like, because it's those little things, and those little things like build the culture. Like, and if one player doesn't let that player do the little thing, it becomes contagious. And now before you know it, like everybody's not doing it.
Well, standards, like, having standards, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or, just a code, absolutely. Like, so some of our codes are, rules that we have on my program. It's like, okay, dress for success every Wednesday. You got to wear a shirt and tie every Wednesday. You're part of the varsity lacrosse group. You got to stand out. You have to look your part. We're about business. Like, so shirt and tie, dress shoes, khakis every Wednesday, right? Every time we warm up, sticks have to be a very specific way, like not upside down. Everybody's stick is looking the exact same way. Everybody's bag is lined up nice on the sideline. When we hit the field, we're 2 lines. There's no gaps in the lines. Like, just those little things like that. Like every practice, every meeting we have, if you're not there at 3:55, you're late. Like, so, we start at 4. If you're not there early, you're late, so that is like the first steps, right? And that's the stage that we're still in.
Mike, I think we would love to have you as a coach for Fame Strength, because the things that you're doing, dude, that's exactly how we run the culture. And
you're hired.
It's like, listen, man, you got time. Let's go, man.
Dude, every time I'm in town, brother, I would love to, man. I run clinics for you boys every day. Hey, Josh, I'll tell you what, man. The first time I ever met Matt, we went to the signing day over at Sun, man. And I was like, yo, for real, I got to get with you guys because I walked up there with one player signing. Matt's got like 7 field hockey players. All North Carolina, Syracuse, like all over the place, bro. So, dude, I love it, man. You know, I knew it was a good vibe when I first met you guys, man. But, you know, like, so, you know, stage 1, that's the standards, right? Stage 2, that's getting the other captains and the other players to vocalize those standards and not letting nobody slip and be the coach and holding everybody accountable when the coach is not around, you know, like, so I don't work in the school. So I got to trust that they're dressing up on Wednesdays. I got to trust that they're like got all the water and everything by 3:55 ready to roll so that we're not missing anything, you know? So that would be the second stage. And then the third stage, personally, to my book is like, it's the most beautiful thing in the world, man. It's when it clicks and it's when like the actions just speak for themselves, man. And before you know, now I'm not complaining as much. I'm not repeating myself, saying sticks up, B2 lines, play blue line, you know, because and when you're in that third stage, you don't got to remember the fundamentals and the basics because everybody's already doing it because they know like this is what we do here, you know? So that's like, that is how you build a culture, man. And then before you know it, you got parents smiling ear to ear and they're like, yeah, you know, so that's just trust in the process, man. So, you know, me and my boy, we always said it took, you know, 3 years to build a solid program. And I'm in year 1 right now with Black Knights and with Clarksburg High School, man, down in Montgomery County, Maryland, 4A ball. So, you know, I'm excited, man. And I'm eager to grow. I'm eager for the challenge.
Right. I like it. I like
Heck
it.
yeah,
I love your energy is amazing, dude. I love it, dude. I'm enjoying the conversation.
I appreciate it. Me too, man. You know, and honestly, man, I got to shout out this book, man. You know, so I mean, I know, you know, dude, honestly, between us, man, I used to hate reading, dog. Like, I'd fall asleep.
Yeah, me same here,
same, man.
If it wasn't an audio recording or something with
pictures, you're talking to the right ones.
Right? Dude. But this book right here, man,
changes life, right?
I cannot put this book down, man. It's called The Game Plan for Life by Joe Gibbs.
Wrote it?
Joe Gibbs and Tony Dungy wrote it, man. So you guys know he used to coach the Redskins, you know, now known as Washington football team. And you know, if you're from Maryland, you know who Joe Gibbs is. That's for sure, man. And I know you football guys know him as well. But man, this whole book, it's amazing, man. My mother-in-law bought it for me. All he talks about is, you know, now me, I don't like to speak on anybody else's behalf, but me, I'm a very religious person, you know, God first, and then everything else will fall into place. And if you live, you know, a God-loving life, it teaches you how to love others in a genuine way without having underlying intentions or just, you know, possibly just being selfless and trying to help people as much as you can. And this book just spoke to me, man. Like, you know, it talks about his trials and tribulations when he was starting out back in the 70s at Arkansas and how he made it to USC and then how he just climbed his way up, you know, to Washington as a head football coach. And then how he translated it into NASCAR and won a couple championships over there as well. But it just talks about the changes in his life from when he was starting his coaching career to like the middle and the end, and how just like his views on the church and God just really made him become the coach that he was. And, you know, reading this book, it's just been very eye-opening. He talks a lot about Sean Taylor and how, you know, Sean Taylor started out kind of as a knucklehead. And when he got murdered, everybody thought that it was like, oh, that's because he was about that life or whatever. And Joe Gibbs says it firsthand in this book, like, no, he was not about that life. Like, he was cheerful. He was at peace. Like, he just had a brand new daughter. He was smiling in the locker room. He wasn't causing no problems with his teammates anymore. Like, he was living a peaceful, godly life. And, you know, unfortunate what happened to him and all that stuff. But it's amazing, man. I recommend it to all my athletes. You know, it just, there's a lot of different scholars in there and they talk about their, you know, similarities and experiences and all that stuff. And it's amazing, man. It's great read for sure, man.
And you know what? Thanks for that suggestion. And that's part of the reason like why we do this, right? Because it's books. Sometimes people like to read, some people don't like to read, but then there's these podcasts and any type of vehicle that can deliver a message has the opportunity to change someone's life, right? So
yeah.
with us interviewing someone like yourself and others, it gives opportunities for people to listen, and a nugget, a gem that they pick up can just 360 something,
Yes.
So I appreciate that, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
When I was younger, and my high school coach used to have a meeting before the season, and he used to bring in these speakers.
Right.
And the one guy that used to speak every year would say, not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. And I heard, and I wasn't a reader in high school whatsoever. In college, like not so much either. But afterwards, I got into it. Now it's a staple in my life, and I love the suggestion of the book. And yesterday during the class, like during one of the classes we were teaching, we were talking about all these books that changed my life and stuff like that. And I think I was like, once I got into my upper 20s and 30s, like I really started to dig in and find the value in reading. And is that kind of the similar situation for you? And kind of getting into that.
Absolutely, man. So what did you like start reading? Like, what was your, like for us, like non-readers when we were in high school? Because I mean, I always think about with sports, but like, was there a book that like captured you and was like, damn, all right, maybe I like reading?
There's one book that changed my entire life, how I live my life, everything. And it was called the 5 a.m. Club. Mm-hmm. And I went through this time in my life where I wanted to grow. I wanted to learn. I started reading a couple books and this and that. I read the 5 a.m. Club, and bro, that was it, man. I'm not a morning person whatsoever. I get up every day at 4 right now. I'm reading, I pray in the morning, I study, like I review my goals. I sectioned my goals into daily, weekly, like cycle of the year, fall goals, spring goals, whatever. And then I have a 5-year plan, I have a personal mission statement. Like I go through all that stuff. And like, that's all because of like the books I read. And the 5 a.m. Club, that was a game changer for me.
Separated.
That was the one that lit the fire, dude. Absolutely.
Dude, that's fantastic. How about you, Josh? Anything
So the magic of thinking big. So once I read that, changed everything for me, because what it did, it kind of normalized my thought process. I thought as big thinkers, we feel different or weird sometimes. Like, why don't people think like us? Right. Like I always felt like it was always like, yo, I'm on like some next, like I want to be on this level. So, but I was like, damn, is it just me? Like not everyone thinks like this. So reading that book, it takes you through that process to say that's normal. It changes your life. As we get older, people knock us down, so people stop thinking big, right? And that's kind of what set everything off for me too. So,
heck yeah, man. And that really makes your patience grow, right? Like, you know, with your boys and with your players and with your athletes, like, you know, it's because I'm like, dude, I've been with you guys for 3 months now. Like, how do you not see what I see, you know? But it's like, it takes time, man. It really does, man. And dude, those both sound like fantastic reads. I would love to read both of those, man. Definitely. Gotta find me a copy, man. You know, honestly, man, this book right here is probably like one of the #1 game changers. But honestly, like before I even read it, I kind of already was thinking like this. You know, just like from the godly aspect. You know, I've been through a lot of experiences in my life, man, where like, you know, trauma will kind of make you think a specific way, and where less important things will kind of like just, you know, you kind of like reflect that off, you know what I mean? Like people, like things don't go your way, or the game doesn't go your way, or like, you know, your dog freaking goes through the trash and leaves your house a whole mess or whatever. Like, you know, those are like little problems, man. But it's like, you know, so like just a couple of things that really like, you know, not necessarily a drastic read, other than, you know, this book and the Bible. And, you know, to answer your question though, Matt, what got me into reading was actually the Dexter Morgan books, man. So I love like the fantasy sci-fi of like, you know, the Netflix show or Showtime or whatever. So those books got me going, man. So I started reading that. But that was just like, you know, that was just like entertainment, you know.
Yeah. They're fun too,
yeah, absolutely, man. But you know, from just personal like life experiences is kind of what just like kind of turned me into the coach that I am today, man. So you know, like growing up, man, there was this lady up the street who used to babysit me, man, and she was like my mom, man. Like, you know, my mom, I come from a single family home. And my mom, like my dad is amazing. He's in my life for sure. Like he's dope. He comes to, you know, a lot of the games. He's my support system, but, you know, lived with my mom growing up. And you know, she was working from 7 to 7 every day. So I had to have a babysitter, all that stuff. And I'm talking like this is like elementary school through middle school, you know? So I was always up the street at this lady's house. Now, she also had 2 sons that were around my age. And, you know, unfortunately, back in 2012, one of those kids committed suicide. And that was back when I was in college at WVU, my first year there. And man, that like, just going through that, like losing my brother, like we weren't blood related, but that was like my brother though, you know, like from diapers all the way up. He was the one who taught me how to play football and taught me how to be tough. And like the older brother I never had, you know, like who used to just like, you know, we ride 4-wheelers and beat each other up and box and like, you know, and of course I was always getting the bad end of everything, you know, being the younger guy. But yeah, man. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, he got into drugs and pills and ended up shooting himself. And you know, and that really changed my life on thinking. I was kind of in a dark spot for a while. I didn't really believe in an upper power or anything like that. And then years later, as my life kept going on, you know, I would pay attention to the signs and the subliminal messages, man. Like I've always been a person in the church, but I've never really been paying attention while I'm in church, to be honest with you. Like, you know, when you're young and you're little and you're, you know, but as I got older and I graduated college and I started living in DC and like everything just started falling into place. And like there would be times where I'm just like, man, like how am I going to cover the rent today? How am I going to do this? Or how am I going to afford this vet bill? You know, and then boom, out of nowhere, you get like an extra stipend in the mail, or you get like, you know, it just works out. And then like, you know, so I kept paying attention to those signs. And like, once I realized like, okay, God has a plan for me. This is why I think the way I think. This is why I like get stuck with these decision paths that are drastic decisions that could really like base the path of your life. You know, ever since then, I've just been trying to get more in touch with my spirituality of everything. And just like, you know, just once you do that, it's a lot, you're a lot less angry. It's a lot more peaceful. And yeah, man. So just those life experiences, like, you know, just like incidences like that just really helped me mold into the person that I am today. And, you know, and lastly, just my last little piece on that part, I heard something on a podcast the other day, which was actually like stuck with me for the past like 4 weeks now. And it says, scientists believe that today you are the person that you would have felt comfortable around when you were a kid. And that really resonated with me. Like, so today, like who you are as a person is who you would have been comfortable around as a kid. And I was like, man, like, you know, like I never really had that like, you know, and I was just thinking like, damn, you know what? Like, I am pretty cool, man. Like I would feel comfortable around me. Like, you know, like I, you know, so that really hit me, man. So, you know, and I feel like you guys are the same way, man. So it's just cool that we're all coming across on this little journey, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, dude, this has been awesome. And Mike, I'm glad I got to meet you, and we definitely got to connect when you get back in the area. But you're definitely a great example of a motivator, somebody that's talking to the youth, helping and putting, you know, service in to develop and change the world. So, I mean, like, hats off, dude. Keep doing what you're doing, my man. All right?
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. And you guys too, man. Like you guys, man, I'm telling you, everybody that plays Black Knights for me in the winter, I'm sending them to you guys, man. We are doing training. And just so you guys can see one of the first sneak peeks, man. So we just got sponsored by Under Armour, man, and it's nice. You know, we just signed a 3-year contract with them, and then so these are the jerseys.
There you go. Hey, nice. I like that, man.
Sweet, man. So just got them black and purple and get them going with the logo and all that cool stuff. Dude, and like it. You know, tryouts going to be on the 30th at King's College, man. So super excited about that. We got the whole field from 5 to 8 p.m. So. You know, practice starts right at 5:30 for the tryout. So, dude, you guys come check it out if you're around, man. We'll be at Belster, what's it? Fields over there.
Fields, yeah. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful complex up there.
It is.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely. Yeah, we got a great deal. You know, they really support the vision and all that stuff. And I'm just very thankful for the opportunity, man. And thank you guys for having me as well, man. And you let me know if you ever need anything at all, man. Black Knights definitely got you.
Yeah, same here, man. As you're here, let us know if we could do anything, help you out, whether it's speed training, strength, whatever, we'll come down and definitely, give some product out. All right.
Heck yeah, man. Hey, Fame Strength Maryland, baby.
Well,
We got to
yeah.
start there.
Hey, listen, man, you never know, dude.
Yeah,
I was like, this is like an interview right now.
know,
So I'm
yeah.
like, we're going to hire Mike, to be our director.
Right.
Hey, any day, brother. And the same to you, man. Love to run some clinics. In the fall, we are trying to get some girl black knights out there, man. Some lady black knights. So maybe you boys can help train up some of the, the ladies coming into the fall league, man. That'll be awesome, man.
We got a couple great girls coming up.
Yeah, we do.
Down the pipeline. Yeah.
So they're coming up.
Man.
So Mike, leave some of your contacts, things that where people could get in touch with you and the lacrosse club. Any signups, like you said, anything that's coming out, tryouts, let the people know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, registration for tryouts, anybody could just go to www.blackknightsclublacrosse.com. There's a little sign up thing. All you got to do is leave your name, the school you attend, position you're trying out for, and a parent email. And then we respond right back there with practice dates. All of our practices are going to be right there at the Kings Field, Wednesdays and Saturdays. So I'm excited about that. And, definitely follow us on IG at Black Knights Club Lacrosse, and we post weekly videos, and all the tryouts will be on there, man. And plus, not to mention, you can always email me at simply blackknightsclublacrosse@gmail.com, man. So it's simple stuff.
There you go, man. It's all out there. All right. If you guys ain't get that, man, you better write it down, man. Mike Dixon, I love him. Motivator, brought the energy today, passionate. Just the guy that we're looking for to expand out in Maryland and Fame Strength.
All
right?
I absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great rest of your day, man.
Real quick before we leave, Mike, I know you didn't spend too much time in Northeast PA, but we do have a couple questions for you that we want to end this podcast with. Quick hitters, okay?
Quick.
So, Matt, go ahead.
All right. The pizza here is amazing in Northeast PA, and I hope you had a chance to try some of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. So
what's your favorite?
Yeah, man. One of the favorite spots I had was King's Pizza, man. So that's
King's Pizza. Wow, okay.
Mountaintop.
Yeah, Mountaintop, sure.
Yeah, out in Mountaintop, man. So that was fire. I loved it. But honestly, though, all-time favorite restaurant, you gotta go to brunch at Cafe Soriano's down in Buxley. It's a little bit past Scranton, but man, I think it's in Blakely County. But man, they got the best brunch that you can get around here, and it's
all right. I gotta take my wife out there.
Yeah, we'll have to go out there, man. Next one. So if you were writing a book, what's the title of that book?
Oh man, Dictate, Dominate. Absolutely.
Dictate, Dominate.
Oh, nice. I like it.
All right. Absolutely, man. Defensive coach through and through. Oh yeah.
Right. The last question for you: is there a day-to-day motto that you live by?
Yeah, man. So, just like you said earlier, I throw my goals down every day, and like my number one goal is just to be better every day. And that's as a husband, as a coach, a mindset, as a friend, as a son, as a brother, so just be better every day. Some days you can give a little bit, some days you can give a little more, but just every day, just try to set that standard for yourself. So just be better every day. Anything I got.
Yeah.
Good, man.
I like it, brother. I like it, brother. So listen, this is 2 Down, 1 Over podcast. I'm Josh. This is Matt and Mike, man. Listen, it's been a pleasure, brother. We'll be in touch. We'll be looking for you down at the Kings tryout. We wish you luck, man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me, fellas. And hey, best of luck to you too, finishing out all the spring training, man.
Thank you, sir.
Man. Appreciate
it. Take care, brother.